Marquee, mid and miserable picks. There's a guy writing over there. There's a woman, looks like she's on the phone.
Oh, I never even noticed those.
Yeah, there's a
A
guy.
guy putting a baby down?
I don't know what that one in the middle is, but that's weird.
It literally like he walked by with a baby in his hands. That was creepy.
So let's start with our first marquee matchups. And I did, while you were doing your power rankings, I did type these out and put them in the correct order. So here's our first marquee matchup. I mean, it's obvious. Thursday night football, Commanders at Eagles. Who you got in this one, Casino?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles on this one. They're the team I think is a little bit more red hot, and they're playing at home, which is a big boost, especially for a team like Philly. Where I mean, it could go south for that team really fast though, because those fans, as I, you're my one of my closest friends. That I will not say best friend because you aren't my best friend. You know who my best friend is.
How dare you?
I
But
know,
go on.
but anyway, it's a great. I've had that talk with him for forever. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to call the Eagles on this one, but it's going to be close. I think Jaden Daniels still has a good game, but I'll take the Eagles with this being
Yeah.
at home.
I'm right there with you. I think home field matters only pretty much in divisional games, or it's been dispelled over the years, especially in Vegas, where
Am
it's
I going to
like,
be? Would I be shocked if the Commanders came out and won it? No, I
yeah, I
would.
wouldn't be either. I think this is going to be a close game. The way I think the Eagles win this game is if you look, the Commanders are fifth in the league in passing defense. However, they are 28th in the league against the run.
And then Saquon.
So Saquon Barkley, minimum to win this game, I think has to have over 120 yards. And they just pound the rock. They hand the ball off to him 25
Like a
times.
rock.
Get Gainwell involved, do quarterback draws, do everything but try to pass against this great Commanders pass defense. But again, Eagles are fifth against the run and currently third against the pass. So I think this is the game where Jaden Daniels gets smacked around. I think he's going to be under pressure the entire game. When you get those old, great defensive coordinators like a Vic Fangio, I really do think if you're a rookie quarterback, you don't want to play those guys. Like the
No.
old guys who have been around the league for a decade plus and just know how to rattle you. So I think that's
You want to know
the
what's
game
sad?
changer.
I say that I got a lot of sleep last night, but I'm looking at myself on the screen right here, and I look like a wreck.
No. Also, our cameras are too close, but we record on our computers, so I don't know how to make it go further away. But so just enjoy our close up faces. Now Casino's even getting closer. But yeah, so on this one, we're both picking the Eagles. I think home field will have a lot to do with it. I think it'll be hopefully a running attack where the Eagles just run the ball down the Commanders' throat. Next up, Casino, our next marquee matchup. We were just talking about both of them in our power rankings. Ravens at Steelers, which is a great Sunday morning game that I'm sure the majority of people will be watching.
Oh yeah.
7-3 Ravens, 7-2 Steelers. Who you got on this one?
I'm gonna go the Ravens because they need to continue traction. And yes, I know that Russell Wilson's throwing the ball so much better. Oh man, now I just can't even get the camera. It's all fuzzy now. I know Russell Wilson's throwing the ball really well, and that secondary for the Ravens, but is not that great. But I'm gonna pick the Ravens here. I just think Lamar Jackson having 24 touchdowns and 2 interceptions is just too good for the Steelers to handle. And Derrick Henry, I think, is going to just pound the ball for the Steelers. They're going to play possession. They're going to keep the ball out of Russ's hands. I'm calling the Ravens on this one.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be insanely tough. I mean, because you are going against the best fan base in the NFL, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I have no problem saying that fan base, they travel, they are the best fan base loyal to their team. So
Yeah, I would tend to agree. And again, like we've said multiple times on here, they're everywhere. You go anywhere in the United States, maybe anywhere in the world, you'll see a Steelers jersey. It's like automatic. They
Yeah.
legitimately, I think, are America's team. I see more Steelers jerseys no matter where I am than any other team's jerseys. But and again, we live in Vegas, so we have a team. I see more Steelers jerseys than I do Raiders jerseys in
Yeah.
Vegas just on a daily basis. But I do think that I do think this game, uh, the Steelers will lose it because they literally just played basically the NFC, a worser NFC companion to the Commanders or to the Ravens, which is the Commander. The Commanders are basically diet Baltimore, right? Like
Yeah.
they do the
That's a
basically
good
the same
great.
thing. Except and then the Steelers beat that team, but again, they beat them by 1 point. There was controversy on the call with the 1 yard line. Did he get a first down? Blah, blah, blah. So I think when it comes to this game, I think the Steelers win. And again, Steelers fourth in the league in
You think the
rush
Steelers win?
or no, I'm sorry, the Ravens win because Steelers, they're great at stopping the pass or great at stopping the run, but you can pass against them. They're 19th in the league in passing. So this feels like a field day for Lamar Jackson running or passing the ball, and Derrick Henry just gets nothing going. So we're both 2 for 2 right now. Next up, I put this as a marquee matchup because of the implications this game has for both these teams' playoff chances,
Oh,
which
agreed.
is
Definitely.
the 6-4 Falcons at the 5-5 Broncos. Both these teams, the Falcons need to win this game to keep pace against the Buccaneers. And then the Broncos need to win this game basically to keep pace with all the other teams vying for those last two wildcard spots. So, very important for both the NFC and AFC. I would even say playoff seeding. Who you got in this one, Casino? It
I've
is
been going.
Cousins versus Knicks.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth on this one because Bo Nix has definitely started to show what he can do as the season's gone on, and I like him at home. Oh man, this is a good team. Uh, I'm going to pick the Broncos solely on the fact that this seems like if they want to go to the postseason, they have to win this game. The Falcons still, that division is trash. All they have to do is just beat the Bucks, and they can do that with a shitty record. They can honestly do that with winning only 2 more games. So I don't think it's do or die for the Falcons. I think it's do or die for the Broncos, and they know that. So I'm gonna pick the Broncos on this one, just solely on the fact that I think that this is do or die for the Broncos from here on out. If they have to rattle off 3 wins to be okay to lose one.
Yeah. I thought this would be the one of the marquee matchups where we differed on because I was also gonna pick the Broncos just based on basically what you said. Also, we can't discount how that game in Kansas City ended last week and coming off the emotions of that game, having something to prove. There are probably a bunch of players on that team pissed off and being like, the next time we get on the field, I'm killing somebody. Right. So then
Mhm.
and the Falcons
I'm gonna
again,
fall forward, not backwards.
yeah. And the Falcons, again, they just lost to the Saints. So could we see, was that the beginning of a spiral potentially for the Falcons? And then the Broncos, I think both these teams need to rebound. And like you said, Falcons can lose probably one more. Broncos can't lose any. So I'm also picking the Broncos. Also, I really like the Broncos defense, and Nix has been playing pretty great. Next up, divisional game, which has a lot of playoff implications. That's why it's a marquee matchup. And it is
Again,
the,
it's another very important playoff game,
yeah,
essentially.
Seahawks at 49ers. This is also must win for both of these teams.
Yeah. It is, but I think the Niners getting McCaffrey back definitely makes that team more dangerous. Now that he's got a game under his belt, I know the Seahawks are good. They can be good any Sunday, right? With Geno just flinging the ball the way he's flinging. But this is going to be in San Fran. I know the Seahawks play the Niners well. These in division games are always fun. But I just can't see the Seahawks getting it done against the Niners when the Niners want to win this division. And this is going to be one of the closest division races we have going into the playoffs. This is a must win for the Niners as well as it is for the Broncos.
Yeah, I
The
think
Seahawks would have to do a lot and get some help. The Niners, they need this.
Yeah, I would tend to agree that the Niners, again, they're getting all their pieces back. We had that weird. We didn't talk about this casino. I talked about it on Sunday's show, but I didn't talk about it with you on Tuesday. Did you see the Debo Samuel swinging at the kicker, but he ends up hitting the long snapper? What is your thoughts on that whole situation?
Oh man, I just stop punching people, man. Just don't do it.
Especially with
Like,
the helmet on. Why do people swing at people wearing
I don't know, dude.
helmets?
All it does is hurt your team. And I saw a clip of Tomlin. Um, One of his players was getting in an argument with another player, apparently, and like he came off the field, and Tomlin is just ripping into him. He's like, why, or whatever. And the guy was like, well, he did this to me. And Tomlin was like, I don't care. Like, this is about the team. This isn't about you. We're in the 2-minute drill. We're in hurry up offense. You don't do that. You don't go in there and you just start yapping like, don't cost your team. This is more important. Like, this is a team sport. This is arguably the most important, or this is the most the biggest team sport out there, because you can have single players all over in all the other sports and still be mediocre.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a good soccer player, a good hockey player, a good NBA player, like you can be middle of the pack with just one or two guys. But in football, that doesn't work out that way. Like, even the Chiefs, you have Patrick Mahomes. He's not playing great, but he's got that great defense, and that's a whole defense. Like, you have to have more than one player. So I don't like that. I didn't like that. I think about the team, like, and that's
Yeah.
why I don't like, and I lose respect for those kind of players in the long run when you do stuff like that, because all you're doing is hurting your team, and you're just going to create tension in your locker room, which will inevitably hurt you even more.
Also, Debo Samuel's always been a dickhead because he's one of
Always.
like the diva wide receivers that for some reason wide receivers of everybody on the team are always just the ones that are divas, which there has to be a study or some reason why that always happens. But yeah, as far as this game goes,
'Cause they think that they're the ones that make the points. They're the ones that get the big yardage. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the wide receiver. I make the fantastic plays. Like, go
yeah.
shove it up your asshole.
But yeah, I think for the same reasons you said, I just think that the 49ers are more talented. However, I could see this being a closer game than anticipated just because the Seahawks are coming off a bye. So
And
they've
they always
had
play the
longer.
Niners well. So
Yeah, but we're both going Niners on that one. Next up, uh, a marquee matchup again in terms of just playoff standings. Much like the Broncos, the Chargers are just trying to keep pace with everybody. Bengals are trying to just stay afloat. They don't even have a raft. They're basically dog paddling to try to find something that'll lift them into the playoffs casino. But we have the 4-6 Cincinnati Bengals at 6-3 Chargers. Who you got?
no matter how much I want the Bengals to go and Joe Burrow to go, this is gonna be another one of those games where he plays outstanding and they lose. It's just, that's how I see it going. The Chargers, they've got a full head of steam. They're being overlooked, and I feel like they have started to click. And the Bengals, it's just constant misfire. Like, it's just shooting blanks, you know, just basically just doing that. Um, Joe Burrow is doing everything he can to ignite this team, and it's just not happening.
Yeah. You look at their offense again, I
I th-
like everything on.
I think the way they lost last week, you saw, like, he wasn't even arguing with the refs, about the clear face masks, and him getting hit in the head. That whole drive, he didn't complain about it once. you saw the defeat in him. He just gave up. He was
Yeah.
like, "This is dumb."
Yeah. And again, Bengals middle of the pack in terms of rushing defense, bottom of the league in terms of passing defense. So you can pass on them, you can run on them, you can run up the score on them, which is what we've seen the past couple of weeks, like you were talking about. And Burrow basically just has to play Superman for them, not even to win, for them just to have a chance. For them just to have a chance. He is throwing 69 nice percent completion percentage, 2,700 yards, 24 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. What more does the guy have to do? We don't know because we haven't seen it, because even when he puts up these numbers, they lose. And much like you said, the Chargers have the fourth ranked defense in the league. I think they're in contention for having the best defense in the league. I'm sure Burrow's going to pick them apart, score 28 to 30 points, and then they're going to lose by 2. So that's my prediction. I think the Chargers win this game. I think this will be a shootout. I think this might be one of the first games of the season where we get to see Herbert kind of unleashed, and they're not playing hardball ball. They're playing like current day NFL ball, which is throwing the rock all over the place. So yeah, we're picking both Chargers. So far, Casino, we're dead even with terms of picks, and we have picked all these games correctly. Our last marquee matchup, though, Bills at Chiefs, or Chiefs at Bills, I should say. You're taking the Bills, are you not?
I'm taking the Bills.
How do you think this game plays out?
How I think this game plays out is Patrick Mahomes can get really frustrated. He's going to throw a couple picks, and I think Josh Allen just rams it down their throat with the running game. That's what I
Uh,
see it.
all right. Basic and to the point. This is the only game we differ on. I
Well,
don't think.
Bills are favored.
I know they're always favored, and then they lose, and then everybody goes, "We're never favoring the Bills against the
Okay,
Chiefs
do you
again."
really? And so you really think the Chiefs are going to pull this out?
Yeah, I think it'll be the same game we've always see these teams play, which it'll be 24 to 21. Chiefs win on a last second field goal. I'm calling it 24-21. There'll be
I'll give
some.
you an extra 3 points if it's that exact scenario.
Okay, I'm writing it
Three.
down.
And if
24
it's
21. Chiefs win on a last second field goal. That's my
all
prediction.
right, if anything besides the Bills winning happens, not I don't get a point. But if the Bills win, I should get an extra point.
Okay. If the Bills win, you'll get 2 points. If the Chiefs win on a last second field
You
goal,
get 4.
or actually, how about just in a last second field goal, or if the score is 24-21? Because if they kick a
Okay.
field
Yeah,
goal
yeah.
with like,
Then okay,
yeah,
that sounds good. And then you get 4 points.
okay, deal.
Deal.
Uh, so our now let's go over to our mid matchups, Casino. That's all I had for Marquee, but I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
we're gonna have to roll through these ones.
well, there's not many games left. A lot of good marquee matchups this week. I was impressed. So our mid matchup, I have Packers at Bears. The Packers 6-3, Bears 4-5.
I'm going Packers because of the stat you sent to me.
Yeah, can you read that stat out,
Yeah,
please?
let me find it. Keep going.
So the Packers 6-3 traveling to Soldier Field against the 4-5
So
Chicago
here it
Bears.
is. Caleb Williams has the worst completion on throws of 15 plus yards by any quarterback in any season over the last 15 years. He ranks 468 out of 468.
So also, I don't know if you've seen the drama surrounding the Bears this season, or this week, I should say, where all the players are coming out and being like, "Why did you fire our offensive coordinator? Like, we liked him." And then
I heard
there
the
is
opposite. I heard where they were all going in there saying, "Hey, we want him out or Caleb benched."
no. So then there's a rumor that players on the team were going to coaching staff asking for Caleb Williams to be benched and Tyler, I believe it's Bag something to be these quarterback. He was a quarterback, I believe, in the XFL or USFL, one of those two. So always good when your team is on the verge or still technically in playoff contention, but yet your team is trying to throw a mutiny against your number one overall quarterback pick. again, and then Caleb Williams not doing himself any favors where constantly holding on to the ball the longest of any other quarterback in the league, takes unnecessary sacks, and then kind of feels like he blames the offensive line for it, or at least that's the narrative going. So again, we already gloated on Tuesday about being right about the Bears, but we're both picking the Packers. Packers should win this game. Will it be a blowout, or will all the noise just be fuel to the fire to push the Bears to 500, 5-5? I doubt it, but we'll see. Next up, I have Raiders at Dolphins as the next mid matchup. Mostly mid matchup just because I think the Dolphins now,
Dolphins have a chance. They need to go on a run.
yeah, and they're fun to watch. They have to we'll see if they can make a run. And again, I didn't want to put this
Just
in
not to a run. Just not to a run.
or if he does slide 10 yards before he usually does.
And feet first. Stop
Yeah.
diving with fucking helmet first, you idiot.
But yeah, so I put this as mid matchup because I want to see the Dolphins again with Tua, and if they can get the ball rolling. And yeah, that's basically the definition of mid matchups where you're interested in half the teams playing. So on this, you obviously picked the Packers. We both picked the Packers. Are we both picking the Dolphins on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, your team. I actually put in a mid matchup because I think Drake May is fun to watch.
He's really fun to watch.
I think the Rams and Stafford are fun to watch. So this is 4-5 Rams at 3-7 Patriots. I think this should legitimately be a pretty good game. Super Bowl matchup from the last time the Patriots won a Super Bowl.
That was
right?
great.
So two very different teams now. But who you got in this one, Casino? Stafford or your boy Drake May?
Oh man. Let's see here. What's the line on this? Because I just might do this for funsies. My Patriots, Rams by 5. This is my upset of the week. Go Patriots.
Oh, upset of the week. Casino is picking Patriots. I'm still picking Rams. I just think I trust Stafford. I like May, but I trust Stafford more. He's getting Nakua. He got Nakua back, Cup back. Robinson also looks.
Oh no,
really
I know
good.
I'm gonna get this wrong, but I'm going for it. I mean, you talked up Drake May. It's gonna happen.
That's true. I mean, there is some plays he makes where you're like, huh, all right, all right. But now, Casino, that's all I had for mid matchups, just those three. The rest are miserable matchups. So we can literally just go through these really quickly, just make a case for the team you're picking. Next up is Colts at the 4-6 Colts with Anthony Richardson starting. So now Flacco's been benched. Richardson's back in. Richardson against the 3-7 New York Jets. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Colts because I love seeing the Jets lose. And the Jets are favored by 4, but I mean the Colts have played some really close games. The Jets just put up some stinkers that I think the Colts are going to pull this on out.
Yeah, I think Anthony Richardson, honestly, being back in is why I'm picking the Jets. So I think it's Jets. I also think they need some retribution for that performance last week against the Cardinals, which was just, dare I say, abysmal. So I am picking the Jets. Casino's picking the Colts. So shockingly, we had all similar until we got to the last couple games. So I'm going Jets over Colts, but not by much. I don't think this will be a slam dunk or anything like that. I think this will be a close game. Colts are shockingly decent, even though when you watch them, you're like, how? But yeah. Next up, we go Jaguars at Lions. I mean, we've seen the Jags have a couple good weeks. They're like feisty, but I think this will be the week where they just get the doors blown off them. This is my blowout of the week. I think the Lions, especially coming off last week's barn burner, I think they reassert themselves.
Lions are going to destroy.
Is this your blowout of the week? Because it's mine as
Oh,
well.
dude, yeah, they're favored by 14, dude.
Jesus.
It's
Yeah.
100%. And you know what's great though is finally Vegas has given them a big spread because Vegas has not known what to do with the Lions, like at all.
Yeah. Jaguars coming into this game, 32nd ranked defense. So this is the perfect bounce back game after you have a 5 interception game to just go have a 5 touchdown game and light up the Jaguars.
Oh yeah,
Uh last
I have a feeling that he's gonna get benched on this game because he's gonna get pulled.
because they're
Yeah, he's gonna
annihilating
get
them so
pulled, not
much.
benched.
Next up, maybe the worst game of the week, which is my pick for worst game of the week. Browns at Saints. Uh I mean, you have Jameis win. You have 2-7 Cleveland at 3-7 New Orleans. Unless you're a fan of these two teams, and even if you are a fan of these two teams, who the hell is watching this game over
You want to coin flip
Ravens
this?
Steelers? Uh, yeah.
I mean, because
Or,
if you're looking at it, like they're dead center. So what are we doing here?
I'll take Saints.
Okay, Browns.
All right, there you go. So I'm picking Saints. Casino picks Browns, and then our last two casino.
The rest of the Chick-fil-A in there for you.
Our other contender for blowout of the week, or at least I hope it's blowout of the week, so the Vikings can reassert themselves. 7-2 Vikings at 2-7 Titans. Titans still have the number one total defense in the league, which I don't understand at all. But yeah, Vikings at Titans. Who you got, Casino?
I'm gonna go Vikings. They need a true bounce back win from being they need a resurgence in their dominance. Like all these games, the last 3 games of theirs have been like, meh, ever since they
Yeah.
played the Lions. So they need to continue. They need to fix what's broken.
And also, nothing that makes a defense look better than playing Will Levis. So I'm expecting a lot of sacks, a lot of interceptions. I think, again, this is contender for blowout of the week, but both Casino and I picked the Lions over Jags. So there we go. But I would say Jags and Titans kind of feisty, even though they're bad teams. And then just abysmal Monday Night Football game. We have the Dallas Cowboys at home against the Houston Texans. I mean, this might be a Monday night game I don't even watch and maybe just see the highlights after. But who you got in this one, Casino?
Okay, let's say Texans.
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 Casino and his daughter have the Texans. I also have the Texans. I do think this is
Houston by 7.5 on the odds.
That seems about right because again, Texans, it's not like they're blowing out anybody.
No,
but,
and with Dak out and Cooper Rush in, I have no faith with him. I mean,
No.
last season or whatever it was when he had a few good games, everybody was like, "Oh, Cooper Rush, look at this guy." No.
And guess who is only 2 losses in the league are against? My Philadelphia Eagles both times. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
both times. So if something interesting happens in this game, but I doubt it. I think it'll be a bad game, but I think it'll be a Texans easy win. So there you have it. Our marquee, mid, and miserable matchups for the week. Comment down below if you think some games are mid when they should be marquee or other way around. Let us know.